Hey everyone, it's Evangeline, and today we're going to be taking a look at the RockyMounts DropTop locking truck bed bike rack right here at etrailer. So if you want to utilize your truck bed and secure your bikes in there, but you want to take it to an extra step and make sure that it's locked, then that's where the RockyMounts DropTop can come in handy. This will work for a variety of bikes, ideally with Thru-Axle bikes, but with an extra tool you can also release or secure those quick release skewers. So most bike racks of this design are bolt-on bike racks. Now this one has an included track hardware. That way, as long as you have channels or you have a truck system in your truck bed, you can secure it to them too. The distance for our bolts is going to be 4.5 inches apart. So if you already have some holes pre-drilled into your plywood board or wherever you're mounting this, you could reuse those holes. The total width that this is going to take up is going to be 5.25 inches. So as helpful as those measurements are for figuring out where you can put the rack, most importantly, please know the measurements for your bike. Handlebars is usually a big issue because if you have multiple bikes stacked up like this, you want to make sure that those handlebars don't hit each other, and you're also going to be mindful of your pedals and your wheel wells. As secure as your bike is with this rack, it doesn't secure your front wheel. So most people put it inside their cab, inside their vehicle. Some people even have it inside their truck bed, but they make sure to use a strap or a cable lock, whichever you choose, that's up to you. So I think this is going to be a really good way to carry it around. It's the traditional style for your truck bed just because taking off that front wheel gives you more space inside the bed for your bike. Now, we do have other options for truck bed racks. There are some racks that make it where you can keep the front wheel on. They secure it by the frame, they secure it by the front wheel. We also have some other Thru-Axle bike racks. Now those mostly don't have locks, but there are some options. There's lots of racks out there. Definitely check out our product pages here at etrailer.com to compare. You can also take a look at our truck bed tailgate mats if you want to keep everything in place. So this includes everything you need to install it into your track system. If you don't have a track system, you are going to have to pick up separate hardware. Around 1/4 inch bolts are recommended to keep it into place. Now, other things you may want to look at are some lock cores. You can get a whole set of RockyMounts lock cores if you have other RockyMounts accessories. If you want to secure your front wheel, we also have options for those, as well as cable locks if you want to add that on. Now, let's take a look at that install process. So to install this, you actually have two options. So the first option is to hard mount it, and that's going to be very common for most of your bike racks that have this design. It does involve drilling 2 holes into maybe a piece of plywood or wherever you want to hard mount this, and then you have to use your own hardware to get that in place. The second option though is if you do have a rail system like what we have here on our Toyota. You can also see this rail system on trucks like Nissans or Jeep Gladiators. Then you can use the included rail kit to get this installed. Let's get started. So the first thing you need to decide on is where do you want to install your bike rack. So if you want to install multiples of these, you're going to have to space them apart enough so that your handlebars don't hit each other. On another hand, if you have smaller bikes, you might even be able to install them widthwise to save on space. Most people go lengthwise so that they use the whole truck bed, but really that's up to you. So once you've picked where you want to install it, now it's just to get into place. So first, take off the end cap if you have one on your rail system, and then I start by sliding one of the plates in. I then put a bolt and a flat washer into our bike rack and loosely thread it onto the other plate so that everything's in place as I slide that plate through the track system. Now get your second bolt and washer lined up with that other plate you put in first, and then loosely thread that one. With everything loosely installed, you can then slide it around and fine-tune your placement. And once you've figured out where you want it to go, then tighten down with your included Torx key. Now, one thing to note is that this has a special indentation, so it's a security key. So not just any old Torx key can tighten it down, and that will help keep it secure. So the drop top is designed to fit for Thru-Axles that are from 12mm all the way up to 50mm. I've got 110mm boost, and this is going to be like the max that it can fit. If you have a quick release bike, you can also use this. You are going to have to get a dummy skewer though, to secure it. Now, if you have it mounted off of the rails, it is a little bit more of an involved process compared to when it's sitting on top of a plywood board. So if I had this mounted vertically, I could just set this on top of it and then tighten it down. Now with it mounted as it is on the rail, you are going to have to hold it up in place as you get this around it, and then you have your locking thing here, and then you tighten it down. So if you find that you have a bit of a loose fit, you just rotate it so it tightens down, or loosen it that way, and then make sure that's secure, and you put just enough pressure to secure your bike. The final step is to add your lock core. So you do get one lock core as well as 2 keys. If you have other Rocky Mount accessories, I do recommend getting a whole pack of them. That way they're all keyed alike and you just need to use one key to access everything. So checklist before you go. Double check that the bike rack is tightened down as well as that it is locked. If you did everything right, you should have a super sturdy fit, just like what we have here. And now you're ready to close your tailgate and hit the road. But this might not be the case for you. If you have a shorter truck bed and a longer bike where they just don't fit well, then you may have to look at other options like tailgate pads instead, since those give you a little bit more mercy when it comes to clearance inside the truck bed. But if your bike fits into your truck bed, this is a great option. And that right there was a look at the RockyMounts DropTop locking truck bed bike rack here at eTrailer. My name is Evangeline and I hope you enjoyed the journey.